Welcome back to the Wellness Architect podcast, where we break down wellness strategies for busy professionals with real world commitments. I'm your host, Mark Negrelli, and today we're diving into a topic that I'm particularly passionate about. How can professionals over 40 build a sustainable wellness routine that fits into their hectic lives? We're talking about long-term health and vitality, something that's become increasingly important to me as I approach 50. And I know many of you listening can relate. Now, before we jump in, I want to start by sharing something personal. Years ago, I fell into the trap of trying to follow generic wellness plans, the kind of advice that was clearly made for people who didn't have the responsibilities that I had. I was a father, I was running a business, and I have type 1 diabetes to manage. Trying to fit something or someone else's routine into my life just didn't work. And it just frustrated me, overwhelmed me, and to be honest, I was burning out. It wasn't until I realized that wellness needs to be personalized that things started to change for me. That's why I'm so passionate about helping busy professionals avoid the same mistakes I did. So if you've ever felt like you're trying to find or fit a square peg into a round hole when it comes to wellness, then this is the episode for you. First, let's talk about why those one-size-fits-all wellness plans often fail for people like us. We're trying to balance careers, families, responsibilities, businesses, everything, and maybe even try and manage a chronic health condition as well. The wellness industry is full of advice, but most of it is made up of people who have a lot more free time or fewer commitments than we do. If you're running a business or working in a high-pressure job and then coming home to a family, you don't have hours to spend on an elaborate workout routine or a complicated meal plan. On top of all that, as we age, our bodies change. Our energy levels shift. We might not recover as quickly from intense exercises. We're more aware of the long-term health risks if we don't take care of ourselves though. For those of us managing chronic conditions like type 1 diabetes like I have, it's even more critical to get it right. Trying to fit into a generic plan when you've got unique needs just doesn't make sense. So what's the solution? Well, it's about creating a wellness blueprint that's tailored to you, your schedule, your health, your family, your business, your long-term goals. So let's dive in how you can do that. Let's break it down. What goes into creating a wellness routine that works specifically for busy professionals over 40 years of age? Well, it's about making wellness sustainable, something you can stick to even when life gets hectic, because it does. It's got to be time-efficient workouts. So let's talk about fitness. I know the time crunch is real, but the good news is you don't need to spend hours in a gym to stay fit. For busy professionals, short, effective workouts are key. Now, my go-to recommendation is to focus on resistance training and zone 2 cardio. Resistance training is crucial as we age because it helps maintain muscle mass, which naturally declines after 40. Muscle isn't just for aesthetics, by the way. It's essential for metabolic health, longevity, and even mental clarity. You can get an effective resistant workout in just 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week. Zone 2 cardio is also important for longevity and cardiovascular health. Now, this type of cardio is where you're able to hold a conversation whilst you work out, but it's still challenging. It doesn't need to be long. 20-30 minutes of zone 2 cardio a couple of times a week can make a big difference. Let's talk about nutrition next. Practical nutrition. Now, I know for me, managing my diabetes has always been a balancing act, and I'm sure some of you have your own challenges. What I've personally found is the simpler you keep it, the better. Focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods that support energy levels and helps maintain muscle mass. One big rule I follow is to aim for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight each day. Protein is essential for muscle maintenance, and it's something a lot of us don't get enough of. This is one big thing that I did during my year off that kept my muscle mass at a good, consistent level. It kept my weight at a good, consistent level. So whether you're hitting the gym or not, or you're off because you're ill, maintaining that 1 gram of protein will help sustain your body composition. Now, not only that, it's also crucial for blood sugar control, which is something I've had to be hyper aware of with my diabetes. But beyond that, eating for longevity means you're finding what works for you. Are you a morning person who feels better eating breakfast? Or do you prefer intermittent fasting? Do you have diet restrictions or preferences you need to consider? The goal is to find a system that supports your energy and keeps you feeling good, and it fits into your life seamlessly. Now, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about longevity, because it's not just about looking good or even feeling good in the short term. As we get older, it's about building habits that are going to keep us healthy for the long term. I think a lot of us hit a point in our late 30s and 40s where we start thinking about the future. We're no longer invincible, and the choice we make today will affect how we feel 10, 20 and 30 years down the road. Muscle maintenance for longevity is one of the most important things you can do. As I mentioned earlier, muscle declines as we age, but it's not inevitable if we're proactive. Resistance training helps counteract that decline. It's been shown to improve not just physical strength, but also metabolic health and even brain function. Muscle maintenance becomes even more important if you're managing a chronic health condition like type 1 diabetes or cardiovascular issues, because it helps regulate insulin sensitivity or blood sugar levels and overall energy balance. And if you're a professional over 40, this translates to better productivity and stamina throughout the day. Recovery and rest now. Alongside workouts, recovery becomes increasingly important. This is something I didn't pay enough attention to in my younger years, and I paid the price for it with injuries and burnout. I know it might sound counterintuitive, but rest days are just as important as workout days, especially as we get older. Recovery isn't just about taking the day off. It's about active recovery. Gentle movements like walking, stretching, or yoga that keeps the body mobile without stressing it. I recommend building in at least 1 or 2 active recovery days into your week, especially if you're pushing it hard on the other days. Sleep also plays a huge role in recovery. If you're not getting enough quality sleep, I'm sure you've heard it, your body doesn't have time to repair itself, and over time, that leads to burnout. So, make sure you're prioritizing 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Trust me, you'll see the difference in your performance and your mood. Let's talk about how to balance all of this, because as a busy professional, the reality is that work and family often pull us in different directions, and it can feel like there's no time left for us, ourselves. I've been there and I've seen it. I've run businesses, travelled, and still tried to be there for my family, all while managing my health. It's tough, but it's doable. Integrating wellness into family life is one thing I've found helpful. For example, after dinner, I've mentioned this before, me and my family love to go for a 10-minute walk together. It's simple. It's a really easy habit, but it helps digestion, lowers my blood sugar, and gives us some quality time together. It's a win-win. You don't always have to separate family time from wellness time as well. Find activities that you can do together. Whether it's going for a hike on a weekend, cooking healthy meals together as a family, or just taking short walks. It's about being intentional and creative with how you spend your time. Now, setting boundaries with work is key. It's easy to get caught up into the mindset of always needing to be on, especially as a high performer. But protecting your health means creating non-negotiable time for yourself, whether it's blocking out 30 minutes in your morning for a workout, setting aside time for a lunch workout, or just lunch without working. Step away from your desk for a break. Those small actions add up. Treat it like a meeting. Schedule yourself in and make sure you stick to it. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. So taking care of yourself makes you more effective at work. It makes you more present with your family. It's not selfish, it's essential. Mental wellness is often overlooked when we talk about health, but it's just as important as physical health, especially when you're juggling so many responsibilities. Stress, burnout, and anxiety can easily creep up on us, especially when you're balancing demanding careers with family life. I've learned over the years how important it really is to build up mental resilience, to handle stress without it taking over my life. For me, things like meditation, breath work have been real game changers. You don't need to meditate for an hour a day. Just 5 to 10 minutes of deep breathing in the morning or before bed can make a huge difference in how you manage your stress. I'll go deeper into this a little bit later on in another episode, but if you get 5 minutes, have a look up on Yoga Nidra. If you're struggling for energy during the day, Dr. Huberman is a big advocate of this. NSDR, he calls it. It's 5 minutes, 10 minutes to yourself, and it helps to reset your brain and your energy levels. So go and give that a look at. Journaling is another tool that I've found helpful. It's not for everybody, but it's a way to process what's on your mind and get clear on your priorities. And when you're running a busy business, or when you're running a business, managing your team or balancing family things, we can always get overwhelmed very easy, very fast. Taking a few minutes each day to reflect can give you clarity and reduce stress. Let's get into some actionable steps you can take this week to start building a wellness routine that fits into your life. These are small changes you can make right now to start seeing results. 1. Schedule 3 short training sessions, resistance training sessions per week. Even if they're just 30 minutes, commit to getting them done. Number 2, incorporate zone 2 cardio sessions in. A brisk walk, a cycle, or a swim, 20 to 30 minutes. Number 3, take a 10-minute walk after dinner with your family or by yourself. It's great for digestion and unwinding. Number 4, focus on eating more protein this week. Aim for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight and see how you feel. Number 5, set a boundary with work. Whether it's a lunch break, a morning workout, or a 5-minute breathing session during your workday, carve out some non-negotiable you time. If you're consistent with these steps, you'll start seeing the benefits in no time. If this episode has resonated with you, I encourage you to follow me for more practical tips on building a wellness routine that works for your life. Until next time, thanks for tuning in today. Stay well, stay balanced, and take care of yourselves. And I'll see you in the next episode.